Okay, so I wanted to bring you a quick update. Here we are in the N concourse in Seattle Tacoma International Airport, SeaTac. And after some consultation, talked again with my supervisor. Um, I'm not thrilled about the point of decision, but I can't, in good conscience, continue to use the version of the Bible that we were using before. The New American Bible Revised Edition translation. It is a copyrighted work. It is a work of literature. Um, Someone wrote it. God obviously inspired initially to men, but someone worked on the copyright, developed the product, and they should be given their due. And we are essentially using their work without proper copyright acknowledgement, or paying them for their work. Someone wrote in, Barbara from Finland, thank you, Midnight Dreams, for writing in, and it is very hard, because I agree with you. The Word of God is free and should be free to everyone, and in fact, this version of the Bible is through the U.S. CCB website. However, again, as a work of literature, um, they have a right to claim copyright on it. There's even another reason, though, and I don't want to get really far into it, but within the context of liturgical celebration within worship, it's important that we remember that the Word of God is not just words on a screen somewhere. We've got enough of those, right? We have enough words on a screen somewhere. The Bible, that's why typically when you go to Mass, the Bible is maintained, displayed in a book called the lectionary. That's why you have priests who use the red Roman missal on the altar and not an iPad. That's why the lectors use the lectionary and not an iPad. That's why at the beginning of Mass in some parishes, you'll see the lector or a deacon process in with the book of the Gospels, showing that the Word of God is not some technological marvel. It's not just more words on a screen, which again we have enough of. It's a real thing in our world that we can touch and interact with. Also, do you trust everything that you read on the internet? Right? Every word on a screen that goes by, do you just take that all? No, of course not. Like, we know better. And so to display the Word of God on a screen, I think psychologically, I think that the USCCB is right, that it should be kept in books and that we should read it with our eyes or listen to it with our ears. Just speaking for myself, I think some of you would agree, if the Bible was on a screen or if it was on my phone, I don't think I'd make it through Mass. I think it would be, the first reading, and I'm singing the psalm, and now we're halfway through the second reading, and I'm bored, and
Michelle Bingham, return to Starbucks. Public sign your checkpoint 3 for the behind item. Michelle Bingham, return to Starbucks. Public sign your checkpoint 3 for the behind item.
We're in the airport. There are people all over. I have my camera pointed up out of respect for them. But anyway, I'm sorry, I wasted 4 minutes, but the point being that I think that the USCCB has a right to have a copyright on this book that they produced, and that it's our moral imperative to respond to that copyright appropriately. I'm going to send an email and a letter in, but to be honest, I don't think that we have much of a chance, as they used to say, a snowball's chance, right? But we'll see. So in the meantime, if let's say in 3 weeks they're right back and I say, Eric, go ahead. But if they don't, what we're going to do is we're going to switch translations. We're going to go to a public domain translation called the World English Bible. It has no copyright. It was first drafted in 1901. It's based on the American Standard Version. And in fact, it's still in draft form. It's being edited for its accuracy and for its readability. And I think that's positive. That, it's not, and obviously, like we talked about with the version that we had before, like that was a revised thing. Do you remember the issues we had with the Psalms? That I had the version and Stuart had the version with the revised Psalms, because they're always trying to make the Word of God readable, relatable, but within the continuity of the language and the soul of the message. So we're going to switch to the World English Bible. For the time being, you will not have links anymore. And so in the description of every video, I'm just going to put a link to, I'm at it right now. I can't show you, but it's BibleGateway.com/versions/World English Bible, blah. And you just have all of the books of the Bible listed. And so when it's, if we're going to go to 1 Samuel, and I scroll down to 1 Samuel, and then I I've just moved my mouse over to chapter 6 or whatever it is, and I click, and then boom, I'm in. Then I scroll down to where we're going to be reading from, and I read along. I don't like this because, as you know, I told you how meaningful it is to me to be reading from a book. I'm going to try to get a physical one. To be honest, I didn't even check. I don't even know if they exist. I'm going to check. But we're going to give it a go. I'm not thrilled. I also want to say publicly that, as I told you before, when I used to make up all those titles for directors and stuff, all those directors are one person, and she's a very, very dear friend. I mean, sincerely, one of my very best friends, I would say. I feel I love her very dearly, and I asked her if she would help, with this process, and she did. And she was the person who prepared all of the links, who went ahead. She actually finished it for the rest of the year. She went ahead of where we were. She built the whole mainframe on Google Drive, Excel spreadsheet, everything built up. And so this decision basically makes that very good work and good effort moot. And so I just want to publicly acknowledge her with real gratitude for what she did, for me personally, but for us collectively as a community. And so thank you for that. I explained to her that I do not expect her to do it again. We'll see what comes of that. But I think that you all understand the flow of this, the rhythm of the project enough that you should be able to navigate. I will look to see if we can get physical editions. Again, I don't know if they even exist. I imagine they do. But I'll have more information on that. It's Friday. It's Friday the 13th right now. It's Friday, May 13th. I'm going to take the weekend off to do some research, to get used to the verbiage. And then on Monday, the 16th, we will begin again, but we're going to go back to the 11th, to the last day, to the next day that I had to post. One final comment before I leave you is the last issue is the issue of the existing episodes. Are they in copyright violation? Yes, they have not been flagged. No claim has been filed against them. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm not going to say it out loud. If you are clever, then you will figure it out. And if you look around on the forthcoming videos, then you might see some information that would lead you to a place where you could find things that have happened in the past but are no longer publicly available. And that's all I'm going to say. So I again, I'm really upset about it. I kind of cooled down. It took me a couple days to cool down. But I feel better now. Last thought, and this is my last one, I promise. Like I mentioned before, I work for a music publishing company. And so I hope that you can understand that for a person who works for a publishing company, and our revenue streams and our livelihood, especially as a Catholic company, depend on proper observance of copyright and copyright law. For me to violate not just any copyright, but the copyright of the United States Congress of Catholic Bishops, which gives us the permission to print many of the resources that we do. I hope you can see how that might be morally compromising, not only for me, potentially for the company I work for. So I'm not thrilled about it, but I think we're on the right track. And that would be consistent with the many stories that we have heard in the Bible so far, that the right things are not always easy. So thank you for your understanding. I have a couple more hours until I get on a plane back to Chiefs Kingdom. And then don't say it too loud because we're in Seahawk territory here. But I really appreciate you all and your support. I just can't, I'm just stunned and so honored that you would care enough about this to support it the way you have. So thank you for that, and we'll see you on May 16th. Thank you.